Welcome to War of the Mind podcast with Lauren Johnson, your weekly dose of real-life experience for you, by you, giving listeners the chance to share their story while helping others and giving us all the opportunity to listen or be silent no more. Paving the way for War of the Mind to share these life stories of struggles to triumphs, failures to promise. Here, we are all one, and as one, we can overcome life's journey towards finding our purpose.
And I'm your host, Lauren Johnson, here on War of the Mind. And this is podcast episode 23.5. We got the title here as Playbook to a New Life and Aspiration and Goals Moving Forward with War of the Mind. So go ahead and tune in, and the show will begin here shortly. Goals I'd set for just War of the Mind. I mean, we can go back to 2018. I started a list. I bought this new journal, and it said, I will come across new ideas for new books, blog, milestone legacy, War of the Mind podcast. The only one who knows the direction I'm traveling is Jesus and God. They will show me my purpose and destiny. My goals are a book, a podcast, speaking, my kids, and milestone legacy. And I'll explain what milestone legacy is maybe in this episode, maybe another day. And then the book, I want to be titled Playbook to a New Life, and continue marking topics and dates in my journal to have topics for the show. So I've been going back through my journals and, seeing what kind of relates to where we're at for topics. And, a lot of my topics go back to trauma, family diagnostics, grew up with suicide, had 3 uncles pass away from it, a sexual assault to myself, by 2 different people. We won't name who, but one was a babysitter, another one was family. Recovery, that's a topic. Faith, your beliefs and your overcoming life obstacles, where your friends play into that, where you can, motivate yourself and inspiration, never give up. Overcoming life obstacles is, family's help, your goals. Mine's also addiction. I was a heroin addict, then switched to meth, and and then I was addicted to the needle, and before that I was addicted to opiates and pain meds and drinking at the same time, and my body did not like the heroin, and I kept overdosing, and I probably overdosed over 20 times, and 8 times I had to go to the hospital, in a coma. Once during COVID, and it was the scariest moment of my life, and I still have the memories of fighting for my life and the hardest I ever fought and trying to stay alive. And hearing people, so not seeing anything, but hearing people screaming at me to breathe, and then I'd fade out and it'd go total darkness, and you could hear a pin drop, and I could see myself, and the picture I saw was just breathtaking. And then I get pulled back into hearing these people screaming at me. I went to, high school in Eau Claire, Altoona, I mean. I was born in Eau Claire. I went to college, at St. Cloud State. I was very athletic, struggled with injuries and mental health, depression, anger, anxiety. And then when I had my TBIs, that's when I really got anxiety and social anxiety, and they all lead back to trauma. And so, a lot of this show is about, what am I trying to say here? It's basically, about life obstacles, adversity, showing resilience and trauma, overcoming trauma, and what I've done that worked for me. It may not work for you, but I'll share my story, what I've done. And don't be afraid for you to email us and share your story, and we can get you on the air and share your story live. But my goal is to be a motivational speaker in the future. Might have to use note cards since my short-term memories will struggle. But this is how I started my book. This book is dedicated to my parents, my kids, and all the professionals who helped me along the way. To all the addicts and people struggling, never give up. Have faith. You can do this. Introduction. At one time, I was told I should do public speaking, and I write a book. I was like, yeah, okay, this will never happen. Not only that, what would I write about? And listening to all the professional speakers, what would I even talk about? And I don't even have a story to establish, let alone people that would be interested or even sit and listen. As year one passed by, then 2 years, then 5 years, and here I am. And in those 6 years now, it's been one hell of a ride, full of highs and lows, death experiences, and at firsthand, nothing more realistic than surviving that near-death experience and remembering every moment of it. Well, like I said, highs and lows from great childhood, athlete, great in school, also wrestling in college, giving my going from being a cop to an addict was tough. Didn't start becoming an addict until after my second TBI. And I just recently got put on disability. They tried denying me of my disability because I was an addict, but yet I was never an addict before my second TBI, and it sucked, and I had to fight for it, and I'm just so grateful I finally got it, because now I can, not need to borrow $10 from my parents or my wife or friends, or I can, get a place and support my kids, and I get back pay on all that, so I definitely will have money to pay for my daughter's wedding when she gets to be old enough. And, from being a cop to an addict, yes, folks, it's possible, and it's proof addiction can take over anyone. Cops are humans. Now, as a recovering addict, my goal is, to help someone, even if it's a person I was able to, help or save them. I would fail. I did my part. Now, seriously, I'd pray you'd help. I'd help you way more than just one person. Currently, my wife is also a recovering addict in nursing. Also, she's been working in the nursing field. While have been working on, our podcast, she kind of stepped away for a minute. It's been more my baby, and I had started the War of the Mind before, but we always had this goal of milestone legacy, and basically a retreat center for people that have addiction and are clean, but they're on the verge of, having a breakdown or needing to go somewhere before they use, or they have their cravings and they want to need a weekend away. And that's what we want to start. That's still in the works. Many of us feel like, we are all just here on earth taking up space. I have my days, I have my darkest hours where all you can see is my footprints are in the sand, walking towards the ocean with myself being invisible. On the other hand, at the brightest hours, I feel like I'm that bright star in the sky on a clear night. So many times we go through life thinking what happens to someone else doesn't happen to us, or we are the only individual having the struggles. We tend to believe that somebody else out there is going through something worse. At the young age of 39, I'm finding that the struggles keep coming, and just pray I learn something from each one that will help me fight through this next fight I have. Probably losing my wife and getting my second divorce could be detrimental to me. It'd kill me. I understand she's an addict. I understand people don't want us, together because they think we're bad on each other. But what people don't know is they only see a third of our marriage or hear about it when the domestic happened. They don't know about the other 2/3 of our marriage that was amazing when we were sober, and we met sober. It wasn't all using because we didn't have the money, and 2/3 of our marriage was sober. And then we got in a car accident, and the car accident, I feel like, took so much away from our marriage. Everybody wants, I'm in treatment court and they're pushing for it, they're having a no contact put on us, trying to keep us apart and all this. And I see them do it to other couples, and I really struggle with, the fact that I can't make my own choice in my marriage. And if I want to leave her for what she did to me, then that's my choice. The courts and POs shouldn't be dictating my marriage, or the DA's office. That's totally separate personal life. Other than if, she gets in trouble and arrested, then. But when it's dropped, the no contact by the judge, and then the PO just puts it back on and says phone time only. And then because I tried proving a point back in the day that she wasn't the reason of my use, so I went out and used, and then they put on total no contact because they think that she pushed me to use, and they're making her out to be like this monster that she's not, and I hate it. And they don't see how sweet of an individual she is behind closed doors when it's the two of us or us and the kids. And it's hard when people judge and they don't know who somebody really is, just like her family judges me. Yet, I got introduced to the drug world by my wife, and I know people are mad about that, but it was only a matter of time. I was already popping pills like they were Skittles, and I had a prescription for them, good insurance. I didn't have to pay for them. So, the heroin was just eventually going to happen when I got cut off my pills. And, they can try right now and keep us apart, and that's fine. But they can't keep us apart forever, and we'll make it. And we'll prove them all wrong when we both are staying sober, and 10 years down the road, have Milestone Legacy retreat, and we're both still clean. And I know I will be, but if if I told her if she can't, I'm gonna have to leave her because I can't relapse. I can't go backwards because I'm not jeopardizing losing my kids again. I didn't really lose them. I just didn't go back and get them because I didn't want them around the heroin when I started it. I know they're probably mad at me. I get mediation here next month to get them back, but I know I made the wrong choice by getting on heroin, but I don't regret not going and getting them and not exposing them to it because they would have been traumatized for life, and they don't need to see dad overdosing or dead or doing needles and stuff like that. And I hope one day they understand how hard it was and how much I miss them, how much I love them, and think about them every day. And, I'm tired of their mom making me out to be the monster. And when I bet you she hasn't given them any of the cards I send up there or letters or anything. And just don't even let the kids call me on Father's Day. And it sucks because those kids were my life and I would have did anything for them. And, it's just another obstacle in life, and I just have to keep fighting, and it just proves one thing leads to another. So me having to stay sober helps me get my kids back. Me getting my kids back brings joy to me and keeps me from wanting to use because I have what I want. And, too many people give up too quick. And it's your host, Lauren Johnson, and it's episode 23.4. So I appreciate you listening, and I pray you come back and download more episodes and, so tell your friends about us and get them listening to our show so we can get our ratings up and more downloads. I really appreciate it. And thank you for listening to another episode of War of the Mind, podcast episode 23.5. And go ahead and check out our website, ljvoiceproject.com. You'll see on there, if you put the /podcast, at the end of .com. Two podcasts are on there. Both of them are ours. We produced Limitless and War of the Mind. So don't be afraid to check them both out and then spread the word, share them. And we look forward to having you as a listener next time. So watch for next episodes on War of the Mind and Limitless Journal podcast. Thank you. And I want to thank you all for listening to the show today. I appreciate all the views, and just go ahead and don't forget to share with your friends and family, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, The Voice Project, and we're also on Twitter at LJ Voice Project, and we also check out our email. Our website is ljvoiceproject.com. Email is contactus@ljvoiceproject.com. Or we also have Lauren, Loren Johnson, at ljvoiceproject.com. Yeah, we're also on Instagram. All of those. I mean, just write us on our webpage, and we can easily get back to you. Just leave us a phone number. Our WhatsApp phone numbers on there as well. So feel free to contact us. We're always available and free to answer. So I really hope to hear from you soon.